What is up, developers? Welcome back to the source. In this video, we are going to be making posts for our blogs. So say you have a hobby. I like gaming, so I'll choose a gaming blog. And we got these posts that belong to the gaming blog. And we want to be able to navigate to them from the correct blog. So this is a way to categorize your content in a cool way, and we'll see how to do it with Rails. So you're going to do a scaffold generation. Just like before, Rails G scaffold posts. It'll have a title, it'll have a status, and blog is references. So that references will make sure we have a blog ID and index posts on blog ID. And that's in the schema. So that's how we will know which blog a post belongs to. And in routes.rb, you can see in resources blogs, there's a do end block, and inside of that, there's resources posts. And that is what lets us have the routes to view posts and do things to them that belong to blogs. There's a guide on rubyonrails.org. You can figure out more about that, and I'll link to that in the description. So when we make those routes, this is what will show up. We'll get all these new useful paths that will be called blog posts, edit blog post. And that is the nested paths of blogs with posts blogging to them. And we're also going to do some CSS styling so that we can get a cooler look for our blog. And then later we'll do content that belongs to posts so that posts can really look like a unique blog post. And here's how the migration looks for that. Let's get into the code. All right, so there's some starting code on my GitHub. You can go ahead and download this zip file. And I'm gonna download it to my Ruby on Rails file folder. And I'm gonna open it. And then I'm going to unzip this into the folder, and I'm going to open this in the terminal. All right, we can start the server and go to localhost 3000. We have to run some migrations, so I'm going to open a new tab and do Rails db migrate. And then once that's done, we can reload and see that we have an empty blog. There we go. And I also added a database seed. So run Rails db seed to get started with a few blogs. You can add your own if you want to. All right. So for the gaming blog, we can edit that and add an image, and these are under the app assets images, so you can add plenty of the images I provided as well. And then for the Rails one, I'll do basically a sample image. I'm going to go back to the blog folder, app assets images. I'm going to use the Dipper image, update. And then for the travel blog, I'll do the flag of Arizona again because I think the Grand Canyon is a super cool travel destination. All right, so we got these 3 blogs, and now we're going to add the posts to the blog. So here's how we do that. Run Rails G scaffold posts. So we're going to be creating a new model, which is called posts, and all the views and controllers. It's going to have a title of string, status string, and blog references. All right, so that's done generating, and we can check out the migration. So I'm going to open up the project. You can use whatever text editor you want. And I'm going to collapse this stuff, and under db migrate, there's that migration. And I'm going to just change this to true so that we're allowed to have a null reference so that there can be a post that doesn't belong to a blog. And now I can run the migration, Rails DB migrate. And now posts are created, and we can navigate to the posts index by typing in posts at the end. Now we can create a new post. So I can do Gary's mod, Trouble in Terrorist Town. Status is public. Blog it belongs to is gaming blog. So now I'm going to go back to the root path where the blogs are, go to the gaming blog, and we don't see it yet because you have to render it. So under app, views, blogs, go to show, and we're going to do this. At blog.posts.each do post. So that will loop through each of the posts that belong to that blog, and this is the variable that we'll use. We can do render post, and it will automatically detect that we're trying to render a post. We do have to go to the model, blog.rb, and type in has many posts and save that. Okay, now reload, and I gotta save the show. And there you go. Gary's mod TTT is rendered, and the other blogs are still empty. Great. All right. Next, I'm going to do some of the styling. So I'm going to add a navbar. So go to Bootstrap. The website has tons of resources and templates you can use to add things to your blog. The navbar is that navigation bar sort of at the top of websites you sometimes see. So we'll just copy this source code, and here's where we'll put that. Go to views, layouts, application.html.erb. This is a HTML ERB file that gets rendered throughout your entire application, and yield will render the current view that needs to be rendered. So under body, we can post that navbar and then reload the site. And then you can see there's the navbar at the top, and it looks pretty cool so far. I'm going to make a custom class to sort of bring our content more to the center of the blog. So add a class to the body called center content, and I'm going to create this in our assets, style sheets, application.scss, .center content, and then in here we'll extend a container medium from Bootstrap. Make sure to type in that period, and that's sort of a dynamic container. It will change size when you resize your browser window. And then I'm also going to add a max width property of 600, so it'll keep everything really close together in our blog so far, and we can always change this later. So there we go. Everything's so nicely centered now and in view. And if we resize the window, here's what would happen. If you keep resizing, the drop down doesn't work right now. You can figure that out later, but that's what it does. Okay. Now we can change up this navbar, remove some of the things that we're not using. So I'm going to remove this drop down. So the underline, the UL item, and then remove that, remove the entire drop down. Basically the only thing I want to keep in here are some of those navlink actives. So remove these guys. Remove this search bar form and save, reload. So we just have these two now. And here where we have the navbar brand, let's use a Rails helper, link to about, comma, root path, and then comma, class, And we're going to copy this navbar brand class and paste it in here. And then delete this. If we reload, there's the about, and that should send us to the root path. Okay. Next, for these nav items, I want to replace them with the links to the blogs index and the posts index. So I will just copy this root path. We're gonna do something very similar, and I'll call this one blogs. It'll be blogs path, and the class will be nav link active. So I'll copy paste that here and delete that. Save and reload. So this will bring us to the box. And then copy this li item. And then this one will be going to posts. So posts path, reload. And if we click here, bring us to the post index. So that is already looking really cool. Next, I want to be able to add posts to each of these blogs. So if we go to a blog and then edit it, I want to add another field down here that lets us add a post to this blog. So here's how we'll do that. Under views, blogs, edit, I'm going to add a horizontal line, and then create a form with model blog, comma, post. And then, comma, do form. No comma, I believe. Okay, there we go. And then form.submit, create post. And we'll just make it a title optional. So form.text field title, and we're going to add a label to that. Form.label is also title, and a hidden field which will be blog ID, comma, at blog.id, and this will be the value. Value is blog ID. Great. So if we reload, it won't work because it says undefined method model name for nil class. So what's nil is the at post. So if we go to the controller for blogs, here's where we have to make that post. So post equals post.new. And so when we visit the edit page, it'll instantiate this at post variable to properly generate that form. So we reload the page, and now it's giving us a different error, undefined method blog posts path, because we didn't create the right route yet. So if you go to config routes.rb, resources blogs, this is where we'll do the do end, and then resources posts. And now reload, and that worked. So you can always run Rails routes and now see that it properly created all the routes for blog posts. We can create a new blog. So let's do gmod zombies, create post, and there you go. And I'm interested why I went to the wrong blog. Let's see. It was created in the wrong blog. Okay, edit gmod rp create post. Oh, I guess I just created it here by accident. So let me go to posts and just show the zombie post and destroy. Okay. And then add this again. Great. All right. That works well. And I just kind of don't like how this looks right now. And also, these are not clickable links. So here's what we'll do. For show of the gaming blog and all the blogs, so we go to views, blogs, show, where it says render post here, type this, link to post, do, and then wrap that render post inside. And that'll make everything inside here a link. So if we reload, all of these are links now. And they go to the proper post. I also want to add a link back to the blog. So if you go to the post show, we can do that like this. Link to at post.blog, and let's see if that works. Okay, yeah, that sort of works, but it looks funny. So here's what we do. We need a string for that. So we can do this. Back to, and then use some Ruby string interpolation. So if you do this # and curlies at post.blog .title, and then make a comma here. So that's going to be the text of the link. And then another comma and make this a btn secondary. So it looks like a bootstrap button. So reload. There you go. That looks pretty good. Back to gaming. Yeah, so that you can go back and forth. All right, what should I do next? All right, I guess I can just make these blogs a little bit nicer. So here's how I'll do that. Go to Bootstrap again and look up card. And the one I'm going to use is all the way down here. Where is it? Did I pass it? I want the image overlay card. This one, image overlay. Okay, so I'm going to copy this, and where this is rendered, I have to figure out where that is. We go to, let's do that in the index. So for blog index, so views, blogs, index. Instead of render blog, let's paste that code here. And it's very broken because there's no image and it's just, there's no good content at all. So here's what to do. Firstly, this image tag right here, we can generate the proper image tag like this. So first we have to check if the blog has an image. So do blog.image.headerImage.present. If blog.headerImage.present. And this .present method is built into Ruby on Rails, and it will tell us whether that header image is there or not. So if it is there, let's go ahead and render the image tag. Image tag blog.headerImage. All right, save, reload. There you go. Looks like it's rendering the proper image. And then next, you can copy the class that Bootstrap used, card image, and remove that image tag from before. Do comma class, make sure the image tag we're rendering is that same class. So reload, there you go, already looking better. And I'm going to remove, oh, we could use that, why not? Let's do blog.updated at, and then last updated, and then you have to use this Rails helper, which is called time ago in words, and then I don't even think you need parentheses. That should already do the trick. You do time ago in words ago. Last updated, that's when it was last updated. Okay, save, reload. There you go, it's correct. Alright, 17 minutes ago. Alright. And then you can do, just remove this one. Why not? Save. And then instead of card title, we'll render in the blog.title. Save. And reload. There you go. Gaming blog, travel blog. Okay, great. Now I can remove this render. I can remove this link at the bottom. And save this. Alright, now I cleaned it up, but it could be even cleaner. So this is a good place to share what a partial is in Rails. So if you see these files that start with underscore, those are partials. And we can make our own partials. So a partial is like a template that renders HTML ERB code right where you type render partial. Let's see it in action. So underscore blog card, that should be good enough. .html.erb. Alright, so it's empty right now, but under index, here's what to do. Just cut this code out and paste it into blog card. Great. And then going back to index, here's what we do to render that partial. Do the equals, and then render, and then in quotes, blog card. And don't do the underscore beforehand. And then do comma, blog, so it's gonna need that variable blog in the blog card partial. So then blog will just be that blog in the loop right here. And then I'll save that and reload the site. Or see, there we go, that works. But we lost the ability to click, there's no button to navigate anymore. So here's what to do. Same thing as before, link to, blog, do, and. Alright, let's reload, and there we go. It is clickable. It can bring us to the right place. Awesome. Okay. And still not really super great. I'm going to make this link into a class. So let's do comma class, and let's do it blog dash link dash card or square, so we don't confuse it with Bootstrap. So blog link square. Copy that, put in application.scss as a new class, blog link square. And I'm going to add a margin auto. Just reload the site, see what happens. And while that's doing its thing, I want to also, let's see, I think it would be nice to have these like in a row. So here's what to do. Index, oh come on, computer. Alright, so blogs index. Make the div that this is wrapping a container. Container-md. And then make another div. It has to be a row. This is kind of how Bootstrap does its thing, and I learned the hard way. You just follow its rules and then you'll be okay. And reload, all good for now. And then I have to make the blog link square also a column. Column 3 or something. Oh wow. So that's a little small. Not really doing what I want it to. Maybe increase the size of it, maybe. Okay, wow. That looks funny. Yeah, not exactly looking the way I want it to. Especially how it's like... They're all different sizes. I don't like that very much. But I can leave that for later. Let me see if I can make this max height or something. Or just hard code the height. And another thing I want to do is make these titles like a little fancier. So here's how. I'm going to make a new class for the render block card. Yeah, for block card. Where the card title is, and it's rendering the block title. Let's add a new class, and I'll call it Glassy Title. And Glassy Title will be a new class. Got Glassy Title. It'll be it will extend the Bootstrap class .card, so it'll also be a card. And let's see what that does. It made it white. Brilliant, yeah. But you'll see in a moment. We want to do background color RGBA. And then I'm just putting in some values that are close to white and making it half opacity. And then save that, reload. All right. That's kind of what I wanted, like a clear, glassy title sort of thing going on. And I might just remove last updated, or what should I do about that? Yeah, it doesn't look so good. I could make it part of the glassy title, or maybe it should, yeah, let me just fix the, what's bothering me right now is all this empty white space. Let me see if I can fix that somehow. I'm just going to remove this again. Yeah, well, you know what? I would say that was a good intro to nested routes and nested resources. You can see here posts, they go back to the gaming blog, and that's awesome. And I think in the next video, that's when I'll build out the content creation for the posts. That is all for this video. Thanks for watching, developers, and I'll see you in the next one.